It's 10:05 and a half in the morning, and I've just had sort of a delightful conversation so far with our guest of the morning, Sheila Hocken. Sheila, you've only been in this country, since Sunday, in fact, haven't you?
4 days.
Is this the first time you've come to the United States?
It is, yes.
And, of course, you're here to promote the book that you have out now, Emma and I.
That's right. Only Emma, who was my dog, isn't with me, I'm afraid.
She isn't?
Well, I couldn't bring her, which was why we only want to stay a week, because we don't like being parted.
I see. Well, you're in Manhattan right now, and I've never been there, but I don't imagine dogs are that easy to transport around.
No, and of course we have the very stiff quarantine laws in Britain, so maybe I could bring her here, but I couldn't go back again.
Emma, in the book, Emma and I, is the dog. Chocolate-covered Labrador, right?
That's right.
And you got that, or got her, I should say, at, how many years ago was it, Sheila?
About 12 years ago.
About 12 years ago. It's an inspiring book, and of course it's a true story. You actually had the ability to see somewhat, didn't you?
When I was little, I could see a bit. The only way I can describe it now is looking through a really thick fog. I couldn't see enough to know what people looked like, or to tell what a tree really was like.
But you point out the fact that your folks tried to make you feel as normal as possible. You had no idea that other people could really see more than you could.
No, I remember being really surprised when I got to about 7 or 8 and realizing that it was us at home that were different and not the people outside. I think that was a marvelous thing, to be brought up in a family where nobody could really see, because then I accepted that as normal. Your
father had trouble seeing, although he did some sales work, didn't he?
Yes, but he couldn't see much. And I think, if you're a sighted child a blind child in a family of sighted people, right from the beginning, I think you get set back in life because you're treated differently by your parents and your family, whereas I wasn't, and I think that made a big difference to my start.
The book has a happy ending, and I guess I may as well mention this right now. Obviously, you can see now. I think you were, 28 years old?
Yes, that's right.
When you had an operation. Can you tell us a little bit about that operation, Sheila?
Well, I'd had Emma, of course, my guide dog, for about 10 years, and we heard through my brother of a really good doctor in England, and of course we'd been lots of places before to see lots of specialists, and they couldn't do anything, and I went along with Emma to see this doctor, and when I went in, I knew I was going to like him, because he made a big fuss of Emma and he thought she was marvellous. And I remember sitting there and he examined my eyes, and I was hoping, of course, for so much. And he said, well, I don't really know whether I can help you. I said, but you must be able to do something, surely. And he said, well, I'll try. Maybe you'll have a bit of sight if I succeed. And all I ever wanted to do was to see to read, because when you can't see, you don't know what you're missing. You can't imagine how beautiful things are, so you don't miss them. And so you only miss the things like being able to read, like when the letters come through the letterbox in the morning, or going to open the cupboard and you want a packet of cake mix and you know the instructions are written on the back and you can't see them. So I asked him if I would be able to read if it was successful. And he told me that he didn't work miracles. And I nearly didn't go for the operation, but then I thought, well, I've nothing to lose. So I decided to go for the op.
What kind of a problem did you have, what did they call it medically?
Cataracts. But there were congenital cataracts. There's lots of different types. And the normal type of cataract is very easy to remove. But these apparently cause a lot more problems. And what happens, to try and describe it to you, lens in the eye gets all fogged up. And they have to remove it. But they couldn't do this with congenital cataracts.
Boy, they do a lot of that type of operating right here in town at Gailey Eye Clinic.
Yes.
And people come from all over to come into Bloomington for that.
Or maybe they have a lot more new techniques over here, you know, I don't know.
I wouldn't know for sure, but I know a lot of people do come into town. Sheila Hocken is our guest, author of Emma and I. I want to find out more about Emma because the book certainly deals a lot with her, and you've had some wonderfully marvelous experiences with Emma, and I want to talk about that too. It's 10:11. Let's break for a commercial or two, and we'll get right back.
Save on Stanley garage door openers now through Father's Day at Hunman Lumber Mart. Get a regular model for just $99 and the deluxe model for only $149. Make Dad happy. Get him a Stanley garage door opener. Hunman is also giving away a Stanley garage door opener, a $159.88 value. Stop in and register your dad. Even if you don't win, you'll save. Now at Hunman Lumber Mart, 900 East Croxton.
Hi, this Crazy Kurt of American Trio, 908 El Dorado Road. Now through Sunday until 4 o'clock, we're having McLean County's largest truckload sale ever. 3 Schweiger living room, family room furniture trucks, and 1 Berkline recliner truck. Now you can choose from over 100 living room groups, 100 recliners at prices you won't believe. That's at American Trio.
And now, here's Crazy Kurt with a thought for today.
Work. Many people like it because it's fascinating. They can sit and look at it for hours.
This summer, Illinois Power employees will call on various homes in this area to offer suggestions on how insulation can help you conserve energy. Please welcome these insulation specialists into your home. Each has identification as an Illinois Power employee. They'll be glad to make an energy audit of your home and show you how to save on heating and cooling with proper insulation. Don't take it for granted that your home is adequately insulated. Most homes don't have insulation that measures up to today's standards. Many older homes have none at all. So, if an insulation specialist from Illinois Power comes to your home, welcome him. He'll show you how to save energy in your home. Illinois Power, where it's our business to serve you better.
Get the real deal. Get the Don Stone deal. Now to celebrate Ford's 75th anniversary, Don Stone Ford must sell 75 cars in 75 hours. This is your chance. This is the deal you've been waiting for. See Don Stone Ford now. They're open till midnight, now through Friday. Register for a free Ford Fairmont, drawing 3 p.m. Saturday. Save on all Fords now at Don Stone Ford, Route 150 and the Beltline.
You're from Nottingham, England, right, Sheila?
That's right.
Which is almost smack dab in the middle of England, like we are smack dab in the middle of Illinois. But you used an expression. What was the expression you just used?
Oh, till the cows come home.
You can talk about Emma till the cows come home. Right. We use that expression here, and I threw one at you that you hadn't heard before, huh?
That's right.
Come to think of it, maybe nobody else around here has heard of it either. I used the one, well, that doesn't amount to a hill of beans. Which I don't really consider myself a country boy all that much, and yet I do, I suppose. If I would go to the city and use a phrase like that, somebody would say, my goodness, where did you grow up? You know? But I was over in England a couple of years ago and had a chance to visit London on one of the WJBC Great Escapes and found out there are different phrases. I can't think of a single one right now. Well, there's knock me up in the morning that people in England say.
Yes, we've heard that.
In other words, wake me up in the morning.
That's right.
And it all goes back from what, the days when they used to knock on the windows?
That's right. There used to be little men in each town with big long poles, and they used to go out early in the morning and knock on every bedroom window to get the people up.
Knock me up in the morning, they'd say. Oh, there's all sorts of phrases that are different, and there's a lot of them that are the same, of course. But let's talk about Emma. She's a wonderfully warm, it's not a human being, but certainly a warm thing in your life, isn't she?
Yes, I always think of Emma as being a person. I don't think of her as being a dog.
I can recall reading the book, and you were talking about how I guess you probably heard of seeing eye dogs, but you just never really thought that you'd ever have one. And then all of a sudden somebody made the suggestion, didn't they?
Yes. It was so silly that I'd never thought about it. But I was going home from work. Of course, I'd got to work even though I couldn't see. I'd got to earn a living. And I got lost in my own town. And I was about 2 hours late getting home. And we have in England what we call home teachers. And they're sort of social workers that come and help the blind. And he suggested to me that I have a guide dog. The nicest suggestion I've ever had made. And I had to go to one of the guide dog training centres in England for a month's training with my dog. I think you do similar over here. And one of the reasons is that you have to learn how to use a dog. I think it's like driving a car. You don't just get in and go. You've got to know what to do.
Well, you point out it's more of a team effort, isn't it, than just a dog leading you around?
Oh, yes, and you've got to love each other. And unless your dog loves you, she doesn't care for you, so she won't guide you. And I think you have to build this relationship up. And if I may tell you the first thing that really happened to me that made me trust Emma implicitly was that when I was at the training centre, we had to go out every day on different routes to shops and all sorts of things, so we'd get used to each other. And one day we went to the railway station. And as a blind person, I'd hated them because of the noise and the obstacles and the people. And I was afraid to go in. And my trainer said, Emma knows exactly where to take you, and she'll look after you, and I'll come in a couple of minutes. And Emma took me in the station, and she took me down a couple of flights of steps and along the platform and sat down. And the trainer came up to me and he said, Emma has taken you right to the edge of the platform. There's about a 6-foot drop in front of you to the railway lines. Tell her to go forward. And I said to him, you must be joking. You know, I just didn't have any faith or trust in her. And off he went, and he left Emma and I there, and I just didn't know what to do. And I really was absolutely terrified. And at that point, I did not want a guide dog. And I remember that Emma was sat on my left, and I think I whispered forward, hoping that she wouldn't hear me. And she got up, and she pushed herself in front of me, and just pushed me back and took me in the opposite direction. And I really don't think I felt so ashamed for thinking that she'd do anything else. And it didn't matter then. After that, whatever I would tell Emma to do, if there was any danger there, she'd just take me away from it.
You have a chapter devoted in the book, more or less to the fact that Emma saved your life. You were crossing a street at one particular time, and of course, when you're blind, I understand you develop a better sense of hearing, and of course you're more aware of sounds around you, but you didn't hear a car coming, did you?
No, we were at a light-controlled crossing, and I did hear, first of all, I heard a vehicle stop to let us go across, and I told Emma, and she took a couple of paces forward, and then she stopped, and knowing, you know, a car was waiting for me, I tried to urge her on. In fact, I stepped out in front of her, and she just threw herself in front of me and literally threw me back onto the pavement. And a car had come round and absolutely whizzed across the crossing, and I would have been killed if she hadn't moved so fast.
It must be outstanding, the training they give these dogs before they ever let them out. And I know you mentioned in the book that they match you to a dog, don't they?
Yes.
One of your original fears was that they wouldn't be able to find a dog to match to you, right?
Yes, I knew that I would love the dog, whatever she was, but I was afraid maybe she wouldn't love me.
And one of the warmest parts of the whole book, I think, is when Emma came in the room. You could hear her walking down the hallway. And
that was the very first time I met Emma, and my trainer had said if I went to my room, he'd bring her up. And I sat there thinking, well, you know, I don't know what this dog's going to be like, if she's going to like me. And the trainer came in the door, and I heard the dog's paws on the floor, and he said, this is your dog, and she's called Emma. And off he went and closed the door behind him, and I sat there, and I called Emma, and suddenly I got bowled off the bed and washed all over, you know. And she was really thrilled to meet me. It was lovely.
And the first thing she did was get your slippers or something.
Oh, yes, she went to fetch my slippers as if she was giving me a gift.
It's a very warm story. Sheila Hocken is our guest. Emma and I is the name of the book. It's 20 minutes after 10 o'clock, and we'll be right back.
Just when you're looking for a great way to say, thanks, Dad, Sears appears with 2 fine Father's Day gift ideas. Save 20 to 25% on a colorful selection of short-sleeve sports shirts. They're now just $3.99 and $4.49 each. Or save $5 on Sears Best Double Knit Slacks. Regular cuts now $11.99 a pair. They're special buys for a special man. And on sale through June 17th in most Sears men's stores. Prices and dates may vary in Alaska and Hawaii.
Windows and walls, save on painting them all. Spruce up and save at Sears.
It's Sears Spruce Up Paint Sale on latex, fashion flat, and semi-gloss.
The beautiful, washable, one-coat interior finishes.
Save $4 a gallon.
Each only $7.99.
And don't forget Weather Beater Flat Latex.
The super tough one-coat exterior finish.
Now only $9.99.
You save $4.
Sears Spruce Up Paint Sale. Spruce up and save at Sears.
At most Sears retail stores, prices may vary in Alaska and Hawaii. Westside Clothing is having another fishbowl sale. If you remember their last fishbowl sale, you know what kind of savings this can mean for you. If you didn't take advantage of their last sale, stop out today and try your luck. It's easy, it's fun, and it can save you money. All you do is stop in, pick your ticket from the fishbowl at the front of the store, and open it to see what your discount is. There are savings from 10 to 50% on every item anywhere in the store. Nothing could be more simple. And remember, Father's Day is Sunday. Look over Westside's super selection of summer shirts and pants. Or maybe Dad needs a new Oshkosh workout fit or bib overall. Whatever your needs, you're sure to find it at Westside Clothing. And now you can take advantage of terrific savings during their fishbowl sale. So hurry out to Westside Clothing this week and pick your own prices.
It's 22 minutes after 10 o'clock. We were just talking about some of the differences between England and the United States again. You say in England people don't watch television at all in the morning, right?
No. We only have probably educational programs on.
Mm-hmm.
The normal household will switch the television on about 7 o'clock in the evening. We're really big radio listeners over there.
And the other thing that's different, they don't do telephone interviews in England, right?
And not at all. You have to actually go to the radio station. But of course our place is so much smaller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the country is smaller than the
Yeah.
United States. Well, I suppose it's just different. Here we're under the control of the Federal Communications Commission, and in England it's government stations, the BBC.
Yes, the BBC.
It's 23 minutes after 10 o'clock. Emma and I is the name of the book, and we're talking about Sheila Hocken and how she got a hold of a dog that stayed with her all these years. How many years again, Sheila?
Well, she's nearly 14 now.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been together for about 13 years.
You, and this is only typical, I would think, tried to be as normal as possible for a youngster, even though you were obviously in a special category. I can recall an article in here, a chapter in the book, about wanting to go horseback riding, and you had a friend that took you. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, my parents, of course, would never let me go riding, because although they wanted to bring me up as an ordinary person, they didn't want me to go and kill myself, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I always had this real desire to go, because I loved animals. And my friend who was sighted, Anita, took me. But the very surprising thing was that when she tried to book a ride and told them I couldn't see, nobody would let us go. You know, they were afraid that something would happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, we just didn't tell them. She booked a ride and didn't tell them I couldn't see, and we sort of got round it because she led me there and everything. And I really enjoyed it, but we had some hair-raising experiences on horses, you know. They used to go galloping off with me and all sorts of things.
And in this one instance that you pointed out, you got off the horse, and nobody realized that you were blind. But somebody said, my goodness, I'm glad I wasn't on that horse.
Yes, apparently they'd given me a horse that wasn't very reliable because they didn't know, you see. And we went off and it went galloping off with me. And I heard them when I came back saying, I'm glad I didn't get him. And I thought, oh boy, you know, trust me to get the worst horse there was.
After you got Emma, life really changed for you. I'm trying to think. After people could actually realize how intelligent Emma was. She got you on the bus. She led you around town. In fact, you got lost several times, and Emma found the way to wherever it was where you were going. Did you find people really coming up to you and wanting to strike up a conversation and almost direct their entire conversation about Emma?
Oh, yes. This is why, particularly now, I can see when I see blind people with white sticks, I feel very sad, because nobody's going to go up and talk to their white stick, are they? And when you have a guide dog, so many people come up to talk to you to offer help or just to ask about your dog. And I've made lots of friends that way. And it's really a nice communication point. Although I don't know whether it's the same over here, but in England we do like help when we have guide dogs, and we like people to come and talk to us. But when you and your dog are working, it's very disturbing if somebody just comes up to you and sort of takes hold of you or tries to tell you things, you know, because it puts you off your train of thought and stops you working well together.
Gee, there are a lot of things I'd like to ask you, and I'm going to ask if you can hang on to the other side of the news. It is okay?
That's fine.
And I'd like to invite the folks in to call, too, if that's okay with you.
That would be lovely.
I'm sure there are all sorts of questions people have concerning guide dogs or this whole business about the transition, how it happened for you, what it was like to actually go from a world of darkness or sort of a hazy cloud to eyesight. And we'll just continue our conversation. 27 after 10 o'clock. I may have time for one question or more before we break for the news, but I want to break for a commercial again.
If your dad isn't getting older, just a little chubbier, give him a Nautilus gift certificate for Father's Day. It'll be just the incentive he needs to get back in shape. Nautilus Exercise and Fitness Center will plan a program especially for your dear old dad. With their great machines and diet ideas, not only will your dad look terrific, he'll feel fantastic. So give your dad a gift certificate, starting as low as $25, to Nautilus Exercise and Fitness Center, 704 South Main Normal, or in the Beltline Plaza at Mercer and the Beltline, Bloomington.
Hi there, this here's your old buddy Super Trucker. Just rolled into town and you know what I just heard? Why, them old boys and girls over at the Farmer City Music Hall are having them a shindig every Saturday night. And June 24th, one of my old freight hauling buddies, Red Savine's gonna be there. Well, I called him up right away and ordered my tickets at 989-3131 area 217. You can get yours over at Music in the Colonial Plaza Shopping Center or the Honey Tree Natural Food Store, Buford Street and Normal.
Start summer with a new wardrobe at startling savings. Start shopping at Houston's. Choose Missy and Junior sportswear, separates and dresses at 1/4 to 1/2 savings at Houston's in downtown Normal.
29 minutes after 10 o'clock. Sheila Hocken is our guest. Let me just ask you one thing. How long did it take to write this book, Sheila?
Seriously, about a year, once I'd got down to it, you know.
And, of course, it's out now. It's put out by the Dudden people, and people can pick up a copy. Interesting, there's a picture on the back of Emma as a puppy. She is the second from the right in the back row.
That's it.
All of her little brothers and sisters in the picture, too. It's a very touching book. I want to get back into this whole business of seeing eye dogs, and like I say, the conversation we've started, and invite the folks to call, too, at 829-2345. But we have to break for the news.